from here. Thought he was coming in, but he's gone quiet now and seems to have stopped. A young buck started up on the beach in front of us. So we're pretty well surrounded by deer at the moment. The valley's just come alive right on first light. And I've just laid eyes on the white buck and then started stalking on him. He's coming down. If he chases this spiker down the hill, we might get a chance here. Is that a spiker and a doe? Close. We're inching our way closer to him. So we're back up on the mountain nice and early this morning. We've had 2 run-ins with that white buck in the last 2 days, so we've put ourselves back in a spot where we're in the general vicinity of him. It's a little bit windy this morning, but we should be able to hear croaks from both sides of the valley if they do go off. If not, we're going to have to rely on glassing them up. So it's turning into a bit of a grind, but we're out here doing it every morning, and every day's a new day for us. A couple of does up in that corner there. So I've just spotted a little clefty buck on the other side. Gave a few doe calls and he seems to be coming in on a string. He just made a bit of a dash for some cover. That buck we spotted up on the ridge here, and notice he had double clefts. And again, it's like that other buck, it's just a genetic we really don't want in the place, so unfortunately he had to go, but come in on a string there, shot him at about 10 yards and he's gone probably 90, 100 down the hill. Nice and quick. Shakes up a little bit there. Well, there he is, a beautiful young deer that you just seen us shoot. As I said, we did shoot him because he was technically a cull, but that's purely cosmetic. Aside from that, he's a beautiful young animal. He's going to eat really well, and he's actually in a position that he's nice and close to the vehicle, so we'll be able to recover the whole animal, which is a positive. We've had an awesome week hunting these guys at the moment. It's had a lot of close encounters. It's been frustrating at times, but just to be in the bush amongst these deer whilst they're rutting is a privilege, and I can't ask for much more, so we'll get to work with this guy. just out for the afternoon again. Got ourselves perched on a pretty good spot that we can hopefully lay eyes on our target buck if he comes out. We're also within earshot of this white buck if he does spark up. He's been going within this general vicinity over the last couple afternoons. Already got a deer on the hill face in front of us, which is a good start, so just need a few more and a bit of noise and some luck on our side. See wombats on the side of the hill. Just had a boar appear down the bottom down here. I think he's only pretty young though, so I'm not too interested in him. Just milling around down the bottom. Good to see though. So I've spent a bit of time here now, spotted a doe and a young boar feed out in front of us, which was pretty cool. But we're going to move around to the next bench and see what we can lay eyes on. So I've just come around to this next bench. No deer on there, but there is a mob of pigs. Only small stuff in there at the moment and a few kangaroos on the bench. Extremely quiet. I think the rut's possibly tapering down. But we can only play with the hand we're dealt at the moment. So we'll sit it out and be patient. We started off that flat right till dark, had only the one doe come in. Apart from that, really nothing to report. Super quiet afternoon. Rut's definitely tapering down, but we'll come back and do it all again tomorrow. Just checking the weather for the coming days, and it looks like we've got a bit of cool weather on the way. It's actually quite cold tonight, got the fire going on in the cabin. But for the next 3 days it's down to single digit temps in the morning, which will be really good for us. Those cold days will really spark the deer up and should see a lot more vocalisation of those bucks in the morning. So we'll probably get out there a little bit earlier, listen, hopefully the deer are making a lot more noise. But I think the next 3 days are going to be really crucial for us to get it done on a buck. Starting to get to that time in the trip, the days are dragging on a little more. And this stuff here, worth its weight in gold. Spotted a white doe across on the other side there, which is a good sign, because if we can see her and that white buck comes out, we're obviously going to be able to spot him. So just going to keep our eyes peeled on that face and hopefully he wanders through somewhere. So we've climbed up our target buck side in the dark this morning, listening for grunts, but he hasn't done a single thing. We heard 1 or 2 grunts over the other side and we've been glassing. And we've finally spotted the white buck way over the other side. We're not going to waste any time, we're going to head straight down to him. So the wind on the way up has been back and forth, back and forth. I'm thinking once we crest this rise, get onto the open bench, it should be sucking back towards us across to the right. And at times when the wind's like this, you've got to trust your instinct, so we'll poke on over and just double check, but we should be able to see him soon. There he is. This might actually work well. So that buck's about 300 up the hill. What we'll do, because of the wind, is we'll drop back over the other side of the gully and pop up level with him. So we're just skirting around the long way on this bench here to get the wind right. Those deer are just over the edge, you can see. There's a fair bit of wind this morning, which we haven't had of late, so that'll give us a little bit of cover, which is good for us. Just can't lay eyes on them at the moment over this rise, but might drop back again and just come back a little higher. keen on his scrape here this morning, or a buck has. So I've crested the rise where these deer were, and they're just gone. Super frustrating. I think it's got something to do with the wind, whether they've gone into the thicker cover, but they were literally here 5-10 minutes ago. There's the ruse down there. We've just spotted them deer again. They're way up the head of the valley here. Literally in goat country. Good we're still on. Just had a young spiker walk out in front of us. He's come from over that rise there, which give me a bit of an indication that that buck could be holding over that edge if that's where he's come from. It's really tough going up here, but it's going to have to wait it out and be really patient, go slow. So that sort of didn't eventuate into anything. We had a couple of spikers following a doe around in front of us for a while. And I think the rest of the deer have fed right up high on the mountain. I thought the wind was going to be a bit of a blessing, giving us a bit of cover, but it's pushed them into the thick stuff a lot sooner than we anticipated. So I'm going to head back down now, leave these deer till this afternoon and come back with a fresh approach. So we're just back out for the afternoon now. Just pulled some cards off a scrape there. Basically what we've learned is our target buck is hitting that scrape only of a night, but only an hour or two after dark. So that tells me he's obviously coming along this ridge from that direction. So we're going to push out in the way he's coming from and hopefully run into him coming to this scrape. But it's really difficult hunting for him. He's not making much noise, so we're just taking it really slow day by day. And he just needs to make a bit of noise and give us an opportunity. That's all we need. So as we're making our way along here, it's just so thick and it's near impossible to stay quiet, like with all these weeds. Like it's just everywhere you go, bumping a few pigs and things like that, which isn't ideal. So we're just trying to poke our way along and sit every now and again, but they're just making no noise right now. We're not doing much good by walking around. It's pretty tough hunting. Serious now. This afternoon's been extremely quiet. We've come up here, haven't heard a single grunt. We saw one doe slip around above us, and that's been about it. So, gonna have to make the most of tomorrow morning. It seems like they're where all the action's happening. So we'll get up early in the dark and try and be on the deer as soon as we can in that grey light. But it's just been really tough for the afternoon. Just nothing happening at all, and in this thick stuff, there's nothing you can do without noise. So it's our last morning today. Come out nice and early. We're going to go out to the bench that the white buck's been frequenting. Going to go and listen. Probably got an hour before the sun comes up, so hopefully a deer either sparks up and we can move in on him, or that white buck will be feeding and hanging around his does on that bench at first light. So we'll see what the day brings, but it's all or nothing now. So I've just made our way up the bench even further, probably 250 from where we normally see the buck. There's a few roos in front of us though, so we can't really go any further at the moment. But the wind's really good, like it's in our face, just coming down the hill, so we'll just sit tight here for a while and hopefully he shows up. And just like that, our time in the bush for the rut draws to an end. Unfortunately, we didn't get an arrow into either target buck that we're chasing, but that's hunting. But along the way, we had some epic encounters, let a few arrows fly, some critters hit the deck, we've got a freezer full of meat. And one of the most important things is we learn a lot about these deer, so there's a lot of lessons that I'll carry through that I've learnt, whether it be on my normal hunts or for the rut next year. So there's always something to take away from these hunts. But until then, we'll wait another 12 months and do it all again.